Alright, Shalom Israel. This your brother Shamuel Kassad, giving all thanks to Abanaw Yahweh, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Today is Sunday, June 17th, 2018. And what I'm about to do right now is about to, even though it's an old topic, even though it's an old incident that happened in the news, like at the end of last year, it's something that I want to use to talk about today to teach brothers certain things that they need to understand. So right now I'm about to go in with the whole incident with the brother Rich, the pro wrestler Rich Swann, that used to be on the WWE. So right now I'm about to read four different articles from four different news sources about the whole incident, and I'm about to give my commentary. Alright, this right here is from the bleacherreport.com and dated December 10th, 2017. And the article goes: WWE superstar Rich Swann has been arrested in Florida and charged with kidnapping and false imprisonment. The Gainesville Police Department posted the incident report on Twitter on Sunday, and WWE later announced Swann was suspended. Per TMZ Sports, police and Swann were driving home with his. Police said Swann was driving home with his wife Friday when an argument between them escalated. Swann's wife is Vanessa Riggs, who is better known as independent wrestler Su Yung. She is part of WWE's development system in Florida Championship Wrestling for over 1 year before getting released in 2011. Swann and Riggs were reportedly returning home from one of her matches when she decided to exit the vehicle they were in during the argument. Swann allegedly grabbed Riggs' arm, put her in a headlock, and attempted to get her back inside the car while she was screaming. During the incident, Swann did not put the car in park, and as a result, it rolled into a telephone pole. Per the police report, Swann denied getting physical with Riggs. According to the Mirror, Swann could be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison if convicted on the kidnapping charge. See that? The fact he even tried to put his lady, back in the car so they could get home, that's charged as kidnapping. And I'm about to go into that in a minute. He was also charged with battery and is being held at the Alachua County Jail, per the report. The 26-year-old tried out for the WWE in 2014 and moved to NXT a year later before making his debut on Raw in 2016. He won the Cruiserweight Championship on the first episode on 205 Live, but eventually lost the title to Neville. Per Gagnon, he was scheduled to face Drew Gulak with the top contender spot and a match against Enzo Amore on the line. With a match against Enzo Amore on the line. So that was taken from the Bleach Report. That was when all the incident happened. So, alright, there's that. This next article is taken from the sun.co.uk, and it says, Swann cleared. WWE News. Rich Swann cleared of all charges involving domestic incident from December. The 205 Live star was suspended indefinitely by WWE but Swann's lawyer has said he is doing everything to get his client back into the ring. Alright, it says, alright, Rich Swann has been cleared of all charges involving a domestic dispute in December, and now he is fighting for a WWE return. The former 205 Live star was taken into custody after a public incident where witness claimed he put his wife, Fanawa Riggs, in a headlock. WWE suspended Swann, 26, for violating their zero tolerance policy on domestic and was released from the company a day later. Charges on false imprisonment, kidnapping, charges on false imprisonment / kidnapping, a third-degree felony, and a misdemeanor domestic battery were dropped due to lack of evidence. Now his lawyer has come out and said he will be attempted to make his way back into WWE. So that right there is from thesun.co. This was from, what's the dates? January 26th of this year, 2018. And that was when, like a month after everything happened, so the charge was dropped. Okay, cool. Alright. Now, this is taken from SI, SportsIllustrated.com. And it's titled WWE releases Rich Swann weeks after domestic violence charges dismissed. WWE and Rich Swann had mutually agreed, quote unquote, to part ways, the promotion announced Thursday. Swann's release comes 3 weeks after domestic violence charges were dropped against him. He was arrested in early December after an incident with his wife, Fanawa Riggs, who wrestles on the independent circuit as Su Yung. WWE suspended Rich Swann indefinitely in the wake of the arrest. Swann and Riggs had an argument in there, police said, and Riggs jumped out of the moving vehicle when Swann refused to pull over. A witness told the cops Swann then ran after Riggs, grabbed her arm, put her in a headlock, and forced her back into the car. He was arrested on charges of battery and false imprisonment, but the charges were dropped after prosecutors decided they had insufficient, quote-unquote, insufficient evidence. Swann has been with WWE since 2015 and initially competed in NXT. He had a brief run as Cruiserweight Championship in 2016. Swann is the second member of the Cruiserweight division in the span of a month to be released amid legal trouble. Enzo Amore, the then champion, was released in January after being accused of rape. Alright, now this is taken from the Sports Illustrated. The date was February 15th of this year, 2018. Alright, now I'm going to read this last one from ProWrestlingSheet.com. Alright, and it's saying, this is like after everything was all said and done, after, he got released from WWE. And, this is his wife, Su Yung, released a statement to anyone, says, Rich Swann is, quote unquote, no threat or harm to anyone. You know what I'm saying? It says Rich Swann's wife, Su Yung, has released a statement saying he's no threat or harm to anyone. after the ex-WWE star reportedly pulled out of all upcoming appearances. Sue tweeted on Sunday saying, "I support and love my husband, Rich Swann, to the fullest, and he is my heart. Respect our privacy and show him all the love. For love will heal. For love will heal all. I can admit I have demons. I bet. And I'm working on myself. Thank you for the support and love along the way. It has made me better like he did," she continued. Rich Swann is no threat or harm to anyone. He is an amazing person and wrestler. It said, as we previously reported, Swann was arrested back in December for an alleged domestic incident involving his wife. However, prosecutors determined that there were insufficient evidence to move forward with the case, and all charges were dropped. He was released from WWE last month. It said F4W Online reports Rich pulled out all upcoming appearances, including his WrestleMania weekend matches, due to the reaction he received since returning to the Indies. Su Yung closed a statement by saying, "You want answers? I finally spoke. Accept and move forward. Otherwise, you might as well take my rights away as a human. Hashtag I support Swann." And this was from March 11th of this year, 2018, from the ProWrestlingSheet.com. Alright. Now, what's my purpose of reading those 4 articles, mind you? Alright, I read them all in, the order of everything that happened in chronological order to bring out a point. Now, this is to all my brothers out there, Hebrews, Hebrew Israelite, Muslim, Christian, whatever, Ibmore, MGTOW, whatever. There's really a lesson to be learned in all of this. You know what I'm saying? And what we all can learn from the incident with Rich Swann is that to learn how to deal with, the woman that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And, alright, the first thing, and first of all, let me get this out of the way. Rich Swann's wife, yeah, she's non-black. I don't know if she's white or Asian or whatever she is. So, before anybody come with that, oh, it wouldn't happen if you dealt with a sister. Yo, miss me with that. I'm not trying to hear that at all. But first of all, now that I got that out of the way, let me say this. Here's a couple ways which Swann fucked up. Alright, first of all, Rich Swann fucked up because the first way Rich Swann fucked up was, number one, he allowed his rep to throw him off the zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you are, because supposedly the whole incident was that he was critiquing, they was driving back from an event, they was in Florida, they was driving back from an event that she had, where she was, where I guess like, he's like coaching her and stuff, how to step her game up as a, pro wrestler or whatever. And most women 9 times out of 10, they don't like hearing constructive criticism, especially when it comes from you, their man, their husband. Listen, they hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and when she start wilding and throwing her, wilding and spazzing out, first of all, it got he allowed her to get him thrown off the zone because as the so-called witness said, that they said that the car was driving erratically. So I guess like they was arguing with the car, and they was like swerving and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he allowed her to throw him off the zone. You know what I'm saying? And, his woman supposedly, you know, unlock her, was trying to get out the car while the shit was still moving. You understand what I'm saying? And like, yo, like, listen, she gotta be, listen, any woman that does that shows that she crazy as hell, man. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where he fucked up. Number one, he allowed her to throw him off the zone. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing with many of us brothers. When you deal with the woman, regardless of whatever race she is, listen, you can't afford to let these women throw you off your zone. You can't afford to let her throw you off your zone. You know what I'm saying? Most of these women, as a wise man once said, they're agents of chaos, man. You know what I'm saying? And many of them hate correction, especially when it's coming from you. They hate that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So that's number one. The second area of where Rich Swann fucked up at was that number two, when Shorty left, when Shorty got out the car, he should have let her ass go. You know what I'm saying? Listen, and this is something I really gotta say to the brothers that's listening. Listen, man. That's a great YouTuber, Black Ram 313. Another fellow Hebrew Israelite like myself, like yours truly. Listen, water's wet. It's like to quote the man, I gotta say this: water's wet. Babies cry, and women leave. It's just what they do. Some women, some women, it might be temporarily. Some women you might have to, some women might be upset, and they might leave to go cool down, blow off some steam. You know what I'm saying? Until she calms down, and then she comes back. Some women would leave and would have to experience life without you, and maybe she might have to catch herself or get her wake up call that maybe things were better off with you, and that that she bring her ass back. Or sometimes these women will leave you and that they'll be gone. But whichever of those three that happens, you brothers need to understand that when she leaves, let her go. Let her the fuck go. If she calms down and come back, cool. If she catches herself, be like, what the hell am I doing? And she comes back and humbles down under you, great. But if she leaves and never comes back, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And when the lady leaves, when she successfully got out the car and stormed off, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really should have let her go. I remember watching one of Eddie Murphy's stand-up comedy years ago. I don't know if it was Raw or Delirious, where he was saying that the difference between men back then to the men now was that back then, maybe like in the 40s and 50s, you driving a car and your lady's sitting next to you, and she asks, yo, let me out. Back then in the 50s and 60s, guys would be like, oh, stop it, calm down. Like, you don't mean that. But like, in the current time where there was at in the 80s, Eddie Murphy was like, now he's like, get the fuck out. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I say all that to say this, man. What he said is true, and that's something that brothers need to understand, man. If a woman want to leave, let her leave. And that's not just in, like in a car situation. It's also in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us brothers, a lot of us be going through it with our lady. You know what I'm saying? For the brothers that are polygamous, you might have to go through it with one of your wives, or maybe all of your wives. Who knows? But like, if your lady got, she's upset, she want to leave. Listen, what is so she could take a walk and blow off some steam. Maybe she might have to leave to think things over, or she fed up, she gone. She had enough, she leaving. Do yourself a favor, brothers. Let her go. Because if you don't, guess what? If you don't and you try to stop her, guess what? You run the risk of getting yourself into trouble. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I remember years ago, I was watching the Maury show, and they had, it's one of those episodes where the abusive, boyfriends and stuff, oh, my girl can't do this without me, da da da. These women, abused wives come on and complain that their husband is this, he's so controlling, blah blah blah. And when they had one of the men that was trying to give the men a wake up call, one of the guests, whether it's D West or somebody else, or Cali Muscle or somebody else coming to give them a wake up call. I remember the episode I saw, one dude was saying like, yo, if your woman is trying to leave and you restrict her, if a woman's trying to leave, like you and your woman live together, y'all get into a fight, she trying to leave, you block the door and stop her from exiting, that's technically kidnapping. You understand what I'm saying? That's technically kidnapping. So for you brothers out there, listen, you don't need that fucking charge on your name, man. You do not need that charge on your name. Especially when you're working a high-powered, or at least a job where you're making boku money, like Rich Swann was. You understand what I'm saying? You don't need that, man. Listen. What do you block? What do you block your lady from leaving? Whether you on some Debo shit like, bitch, you ain't leaving, or you on your hands and knees like, baby please. Either way, if you block her path from leaving the apartment or walking out on you, that's technically kidnapping. She calls the cops and she tell them that, you're going to jail, bro. You're going to jail. You don't need that charge on your name. So again, that's the second area Rich Swann fucked up. When she stormed off because she couldn't take it where he was criticizing her. Dude ran out and grabbed her. And listen, to come to his defense is like, listen, it could have been a long night. Most of these, regardless of which promotion or event, they probably end late. So it's probably like 11 o'clock, midnight and stuff. They, probably had a long day, probably had to get up early in the morning. So when she pulled that little stunt, he was like, yo, man, like, I'm not in the mood for this silly shit. Like, yo, bring your ass back to the car and let's go the fuck home. You understand what I'm saying? If he did, more than likely, when he went and grabbed her up and tried to put her back in the car, that was probably on that shit. That was probably on the tip that he was coming from. 9 times out of 10, it probably, it wasn't on the tip on some Ike Turner, bitch, come here. Listen, it probably wasn't that, man. It probably on something like, yo, man, like, listen, it's late. Here you go with the bullshit. I just want to go back to the, I think it was staying in a hotel because they was traveling. I just want to stay in a hotel room. I go back to the hotel room and rest. Like, yo, man, I'm not in the mood for your silly shit right now. So, if anything, what he should have did, listen, when she got out the car and stormed off, he should have been like, yo, I'll see you back at the hotel, and just drove off. You know what I'm saying? And let's say she had her phone on her, whenever her goofy ass calmed the fuck down, she just called him and tell him to come pick her back up. and he come back and pick her back up, or he sent a cab to go get her. You understand what I'm saying? Dude went out, but instead, dude got out the car, went and tried to grab her up. They grabbed her arm, and I guess like they struggle, fight a bit, and I guess he like allegedly the witness said that he put her in a headlock and tried to put her back into the car and drive off. And listen, and the thing is, while all that is going on, Rich didn't put the car in park, which goes back to number one of he allowed a woman to throw him off his zone, which caused the car, to keep moving and it crashed into a telephone pole, and that's how they, it brought attention onto themselves. That and the lady screaming, ah, help, help. You understand what I'm saying? So listen, he should have just let her go, let her storm off, let her cool off, and be like, yo, I'll meet you back at the hotel. Vroom, and just get to pushing. But nah, instead he grabbed her up, tried to force her back in the cab, back into the car, and when the witness told him that, dude got a kidnapping charge, false imprisonment, and dude was looking at 5 years over that, man. 5 years, man. I'm pretty sure in certain states the penalties are much harsher. But yeah, man, for you brothers, man, you get in an argument with your lady, she want to get out the car, she want to leave the crib, if y'all living together, listen, let her go. Let her go. So that's number 2. Point number 3, listen, and this is something that many brothers need to understand, man. It's 2 points, but I'm gonna hit it with one. I'm gonna combine them into one. Brothers need to understand who the fuck you're dealing with. As your lady, as your wife, you need to understand who the fuck you're dealing with, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a man working a high powered job, or a job where you in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Understand who the fuck you're dealing with and know how to move accordingly, man. You understand what I'm saying? Because again, with these women, it's like, dude, once they go left, they go all the way left. It's like there's no chill with these women. You understand what I'm saying? Now, were there certain things Swann could have handled better? Yeah, because Swann might have been in the wrong. Could be. You understand what I'm saying? But like, listen, when she started crying for help and made the whole scene, she made it seem like, and you read so, and if I'm not mistaken, the report from, I think the report, hold up, give me 1 minute. I think from Bleacher Report. Yeah, from the Bleacher Report. You know what I'm saying? Like, she cried and screamed, and she make him fucking seem like this dude was Ike Turner 2.0. Like, he was just beating her ass and wailing on her and shit. You understand what I'm saying? And the whole thing caused him to get suspended, from WWE, and after the charges was dropped, dude and his lawyer fought to get back on, but the WWE was like, nah, and they let him go. Listen, all that mutually parted ways, that was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Listen, they was planning on letting that man go regardless of the outcome. You understand what I'm saying? And let me say all this, for all the brothers out there that's listening. You black man, listen, the world holds you to a different scrutiny than it does the men of the other nations. You black man, and also you too Latin man. You Puerto Rican man, Dominican man, Central South American man. Listen, same thing goes to you too, man. The world holds you, they scrutinize you under a different standard compared to other men. Because because let me take Rich Swann's case for example. You know how many other cases, incidents in WWE where men was actually beating on their wives and still had jobs. You know what I'm saying? The perfect example, the pro wrestler, he's not gonna lie, he's one of my favorite wrestlers as well, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know what I'm saying? Dude caught a DV case with Deborah McMichael. You understand what I'm saying? And dude was whipping her ass, and the dude still got a job. You understand what I'm saying? And I think he was charged, and I think he got convicted if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? And the man still has a job, still doing podcasts. Or I don't think he got. Wait, did he get convicted or he pleaded out? I'm gonna have to look it up. But dude caught a DV case. You understand what I'm saying? But now in this politically correct Me Too world, you get in an altercation with your lady. Listen, and you have a high powered job. You have a job where you in the in the spotlight like that. That could be the end of your career, man. Like what happened with this brother. This man lost his career because, he dealing with them live wire broads. And that's another thing, brothers. You listen, man, listen. If your woman's one of those live wire bitches, you might have to let her go, man, or deal with her at arm's distance. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you work in a high-powered job. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, last thing you need is a woman that's known to act out of order or to be wilding out to fuck your money up. You know what I'm saying? Rich Swann got fired from the WWE, and he's now, like he got fired from WWE and spent months like trying to like find work elsewhere, but like he kept canceling because he didn't know how the public will receive him after that whole incident. You know what I'm saying? But praise the Most High, dude was able to find work, but it's one of these these low budget wrestling promotions, man. His woman fucked this money up, and not just his woman, he himself fucked this money up because he allowed this woman to throw him off the zone. You gotta learn how to deal with these women, brothers. If your woman's one of these live wire bitches out here, you might have to deal with her the long-handed spoon, or you might have to just send her on her way. Be like, yo, this ain't gonna work out, man. You know what I'm saying? And not just him, other men have lost their jobs because their woman was a live wire. Their woman was a troublemaker. Their woman did not know how to act. If I'm not mistaken, it was out of last year or the year before, there was a black NFL player that got cut from the team because he would have his old lady, he was have his woman coming to practice and she didn't know how to act. She was confrontational and shit, and they ended up cutting him from the team. I don't know if that was his I think it was his wife. I think it was his mom's. I'm not too sure about it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that was another example. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she cost him his job because she don't know how to act in a public square. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. Allegedly, you could also use the situation with Ray Rice, man. You could use the situation with Ray Rice. You know what I'm saying? You see the situation where he knocked this lady out on camera. Okay. Yeah, that was wild. He was off for that. But, Come to find out, when they find that the camera footage, she escalated the whole thing. You understand what I'm saying? She escalated the whole thing. She was whipping on him. Dude finally broke and hit her. Boom. That's the end of his career. You know what I'm saying? So, that's point number 3, man. Know exactly who the fuck you're dealing with, brothers. If your woman's a live wire broad, you might have to deal with her with arm's length, man. Or just send her on her way. Because at the end of the day, that shit gonna fuck up your career, man. It's gonna fuck up your livelihood, your money. That, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna mess up your livelihood, your money. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the scriptures even tell you that, man. It tell you that in Proverbs that a man would rather live at a corner on the top of a roof than to be with a brawling woman in a wide house. So a man would rather live on a corner on top of a roof of a house, right on the corner, than to be in a big old. He'd rather be on top of the house, on a corner of the roof, than to be inside the house with a woman that's a live wire. You understand what I'm saying? That's a firecracker. You understand what I'm saying? And like, yo, in this day and age, man, these women got mental and emotional issues, man, that haven't been dealt with. So again, brothers, if you out there, you grinding, you making money, listen, you don't even have to be working a job where you're in the public spotlight like that. Listen, it could simply be a job where, a blue collar job, but you make a lot of bread. Listen, man, if your lady is buck wild like that, deal with her at arm's distance, man. Maybe limit your time dealing with her until she know how to act, or you might have to, cut ties, man. Because at the end of the day, she can and she will always bounce back. You won't. So that's the main thing I want you guys to understand. Of what exactly we can learn from the Rich Swann incident. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my my text tone. But yeah, man. That's the main thing we can learn from the whole Rich Swann incident. Yeah, it happened, 6 months ago, but it's still applicable today, man. So that number 1, never let your woman throw you off your zone. And if she does, find a way to recuperate and to focus ASAP. Because again, the woman is an agent of chaos. You know what I'm saying? And she'll do her she'll try her very hardest to throw you off your game. You know what I'm saying? And when you throw off your game, you're not aware of what she's doing, or you're not aware of the consequences that you may face if you give in to her folly. You understand what I'm saying? So try your best to never let a woman throw you off your zone. Number 2, if your woman want to leave you, whether to blow off some steam, whether to think things over, or to just, that's it, she's gone, let her ass leave. Let her leave. Because again, in this gyrocentric society, and you really have to thank the Ike Turner motherfuckers in the world for that, because so many women has been domestically abused, by these wicked men out here, that they made the law so strict that you could very easily get the cuffs thrown on you and catch a DP charge over the smallest shit. I've seen men, who caught DV charges when, their woman might have escalated the whole thing. Woman might have hit him like 100 times. He hit her once. She called the cops. He hit me. Guess what? You're going to jail. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear she hit me first. You're going to jail. They don't want to hear she hit me 1,000 times. You're going to jail. You understand what I'm saying? And it's mainly because of the actual, Ike Turner ass dudes in the world that be, beating up on bitches. You know what I'm saying? That be, harming them, doing bodily harm, killing them. These psycho simps out here. They woman say it's over. She try to leave. He kills her. Because of so many incidents of that, the gynocentric society strengthen the laws where, you know, minor incidents like this, you looking at jail time. You might lose your job, the whole nine. And especially with this whole, politically correct, movement going on, especially when it comes to domestic violence and stuff like that. Is many jobs and many, sports agencies, zero tolerance. If I'm not mistaken, it just hit me. There was like I think it was a Dominican pitcher from, I think, the Mets. Dude lives in Jersey. I think he got clipped from the team from a whole DB situation that he had with his old lady. See what I'm saying? If I could find it, I'm gonna post that in the comment section. But again, brothers, you gotta understand, man. Never let a woman throw you off your zone. Number one. Number two, if your woman trying to leave, let her leave. You know what I'm saying? Number three, understand exactly the type of woman you have and know how to deal with her from there. Because I'm telling you, it's for your own protection. It's for your own freedom, financially, and it's for your own livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Rich Swann went from making. Listen, dude was making bread, man. Dude was making bread. Come on, he from NXT. They brought him up to Raw to wrestle in the cruiserweight division. Dude won the champion again. No. Dude won the cruiserweight championship, and from what I read, like around when the incident happened, that we all know wrestling is scripted, but like they had it in writing where he was supposed to he scripted to beat the guy that he was supposed to face, so that he could face Enzo Amore. It's like where he would face Enzo Amore for the cruiserweight championship, and that he was it was in the works that he was supposed to eventually win back the title from Enzo. You understand what I'm saying? And to my understanding, when you had a championship, like regardless of what title it is, I think your salary, you get paid a little bit more compared to when you're not the champion. I could be wrong. But you see what I'm saying? Dude went from wrestling on pretty much the top wrestling promotion in the world to a small time wrestling promotion. It's a top wrestling promotion where people are watching from around the world to small time, nobody never heard of what promotion this is type joint. You know what I'm saying? All because he allowed his woman to throw him off the zone. I feel bad for him, man. I feel bad for him. So again, black man, Latin man, listen. The world holds you to a higher standard, man. So you gotta be completely blameless. Because especially in the sports, listen, you see many Caucasian men could get wrapped up in all kinds of scandals, especially domestic violence, and they will still have a job. If you much as even breathe on a woman too hard, you could lose your job, man. That's just the society that we live in right now. So brothers, do your best to be blameless as much as possible. Alright, so I actually like the dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I actually like the dude. I like his theme song. Can you handle this? Can you handle this? Can you handle this? You know what I'm saying? Like, like he's like one of those quote unquote comic relief characters, but he's one of those they book him as one of those comic relief characters or one of those easygoing characters. Like his wrestling character is one of those comic relief or easygoing characters that know how to scrap. You understand what I'm saying? And like for what it looks like they was doing big things with him up until he got caught up with that. But yeah, that's just it, man. This your brother Shamwala Kassad signing off, saying shalom. And brothers, be on guard. Shalom.